Hello everybody, this is the Reteach lesson for week 7. You need to bear with me a little bit though. I don't have a printed copy of this paper, so I had to, I'm going to video it on my computer, and I wasn't able to type, so I had to write. So I apologize because I had to use the writing tool and it doesn't look very great. So let's get started, and I hope you will be able to work with me. The sheep in the wilderness. For years our herd of sheep was ruled by a cruel shepherd. At last we couldn't stand it any longer. Every night we stayed up late planning our escape. Finally we made our move. Late one night our herd quietly left the pasture while the shepherd slept. We are finally free, I thought. Then the herd escaped into the dark forest. Life was hard when we lived with the shepherd, but it was even harder on our own. Trouble came when we needed to find a place to graze. The herd came to a fork in the path. There's a wide green pasture that way, a gray sheep said, and pointed to the path on the right. The shepherd once took us there to graze. The grass was fresh and sweet, and there was plenty for everyone. We cannot graze in that pasture, a brown sheep said. If the shepherd took you to that pasture, then he knows where it is. We should find a pasture that doesn't know about it. He pointed to the other path, which led up a mountain. There aren't many trees on this mountain. There must be a pasture there. We should look for a pasture the shepherd doesn't use. Half of the sheep took the side of the gray sheep, and half of the sheep took the side of the brown sheep. The herd argued and argued, but no one could decide where to graze. We all argued for so long that we got tired and fell asleep. But I couldn't stay asleep. I thought about our argument. How can we all share our ideas and still make decisions? I thought what we needed was a leader. A leader could hear each sheep's ideas and decide what to do. I would tell the herd in the morning. When I woke up, the sheep had already taken up where they had left off. The argument from last night continued. I knew it would never end, so I shouted, "Quiet, everyone." Everyone was quiet. They all looked at me. I said, "We cannot argue about every decision. We should choose one sheep to be our leader. Our leader should be a sheep we trust, someone who will listen to our ideas. We may not like all our leaders' decisions, but our voices will be heard. And if we choose a new leader each month, the herd can try new ideas." The sheep liked my idea. We voted using leaves. The sheep put a brown leaf into a pile if they wanted the brown sheep to lead. They put a green leaf in a pile if they wanted the gray sheep to lead. And they put a red leaf into a pile if they wanted me to lead. The sheep voted. Then we counted the leaves. I had the most votes. The sheep wanted me to lead. Okay, so our first question says, reread the passage and answer the questions. What kind of narrator tells the story? So we're going back to our point of view. When I come into this story, I see, for years, our herd of sheep was led by a cruel leader. At last, we couldn't stand it any longer. Every night, we stayed up late planning our escape. Finally, we made our move. Late one night, our herd quietly left the pasture while the shepherd slept. We are finally free. Right there's I, and we use the word we. And if we're talking about we, it's me and someone else. So again, excuse the handwriting. I did the best I could with the tool that I had. It should be first person because it says I. Is the narrator part of the story? What do we learn about the narrator in the first paragraph? What we just read shows us, yes, the narrator is part of the story, and the narrator is a sheep who runs away from the shepherd. The last question says, how would the story be different if it were told from another point of view? What if it was told from the shepherd's point of view? Would we have any idea how the sheep felt or why they ran away? So I said we would not know why the sheep left. That last word is L-E-F-T. And again, I apologize for having to use the on-screen tool. If it had been told from the shepherd's point of view, we might have had a totally different story. He woke up one morning and all his sheep were gone and he didn't know why. And it would have been a totally different story that was written. I hope this clears things up. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me or any of your teachers. And I hope you stay healthy and take care.